first thing I've ever performed in? How did it feel? So the first thing I can remember doing was I was a crow in a production of Beauty and the Beast, a pantomime version at the Seacon Theatre. So I was around 5, 6, and it was a lot of fun. I was with all my friends, my dance friends, and we got to do all these dance performances. We were like ensemble acting as well. So that's when I first started to fall in love with the performing arts. It was actually through dance. I went to a dance school, and I just really enjoyed it. It was so much fun. It was like having a nice big family of people who had the same interests as you. I loved being on stage and looking out to the light, into the lights, and doing all these cheesy dances. So that's where my kind of love for the arts came in, my passion. What is your dream role, and if you could create a role for yourself? I think my dream role, I'd have two, I think, two separate ones. So one would be to be really cheesy in like a musical. I just love cheesy things. I think it's because my dance school was very cheesy. So I loved to be really cheesy, big smiles, big wide eyes, like jazz kind of, stereotypical jazz kind of movements and things. So I'd love to do a role that's in that, with really lots of happy, cheesy singing and a bit of maybe like Hairspray, something like that. And then on the flip side, I'd also like to do something that's really dark. I think because I'm such a happy, bubbly person and quite awkward sometimes, this kind of darker side of me is really kind of buried, and I love tapping into that. So when I've played roles where the character's really angry or really upset and they're having like a massive breakdown, I like tapping into those kind of feelings. And I think that's really present in my creative writing. As much as I'm a very happy person, most of the things I write does tend to be very dark. So I'd love to tap into that side as well and get to explore those emotions. What is a fun fact about yourself? So I guess I would have two, maybe. So one of them was I actually managed to, it was so lucky, to do a work experience. I think it was for a week or two at the Phantom of the Opera in London. My gosh, it was the best experience of my life. I'd never seen Phantom of the Opera before that, and it's been my favourite musical ever since. The songs in it are beautiful, the characters are amazing. I love the Phantom so much, and my heart goes out to him. And sometimes I just sit and watch the YouTube videos of the film on my own for hours and hours on end. The songs are just the best songs ever, and yeah, it stayed with me, and I think it always will. It's my favourite musical, it's got my favourite songs in it, and I just love it. And working on it was amazing. Everyone who was there was so passionate about the arts. They were so helpful. They really took me under their wing. So I think that is the most interesting fact I could probably ever come up with about myself. But more of a personal one, I guess, and a more everyday thing would be that I'm a real family person. Nothing makes me happier than spending time with my family. If I've had a really stressful week, my favourite thing to do is either just to watch Bake Off by myself or to spend time with my family. I'd rather do that any day than go out with my friends and go partying. I think it's so replenishing for the soul to just spend some quality time with your family and just have a relaxing time. So if you could give advice to your younger self, what would it be? Definitely that you have to trust in yourself and know your own boundaries, respect yourself, love yourself. And I think that is something that I've really started to learn these last probably 5 years, and it's helped me come unbound to my confidence and my sense of self. I think obviously a lot of young people and lots of teenagers feel really insecure. That's when mental health issues start becoming problems and arising. And I think just really digging deep in yourself, finding, if you have any problems, digging deep into those, facing your problems, even if they're hard, so that you can come out the other side and feel enlightened, which is something I definitely feel recently. And it's been a long journey, and it always will be hard, but I think that is something I would always say to myself, is to work on yourself and back yourself, really. Okay, so then the next kind of question is, what's the last thing you do before you step out onto the stage? or just as the director goes action? I'm quite good at getting in the zone. I'm very nervous before I do things. I can get a bit, but I'm quite good at being like, right, we're going on now. So yeah, I guess that's what I do. I just kind of take a deep breath, leave everything at the side of the stage or at the back of my mind, and just get on with it, get into the role. So that is what I do. I don't tend to need to do lots of breathing and things. Like, I do get nervous, but I think I just really, it's kind of like putting on a facade on, or like a mask on. I have that kind of mental, and then I just get on with it. So what drew you into writing? So obviously I'm doing my creative writing masters. This is something that I've really enjoyed and loved. So what drew me into writing? I've always loved writing. I remember being 4, reading books and writing mini poems. So I did start off with poetry, and it's kind of evolved into fiction, then into theatre, actually theatre then fiction, then screenwriting recently, and biographies. So writing has always been a passion of mine, and I think I was a bit nervous about doing that in a career for a long time, and then I kind of was just like, everything's hard to do, so you might as well do what you want to do. So I kind of just sucked it up and been going with it ever since, and it's just a release. It's a way to get your emotions out. It's a way to explore characters and people and places and things. It's good for the soul, I think. Okay, and what drew me to being an actor? Okay, so I love performing, and again, it's the whole thing of stepping into a character. It's about touching those darker sides of you, or different sides of you that you don't normally get to play or be. I think everyone has every kind of side to you. Everyone's got those different aspects, and it's just about, when you're playing a role, finding what connects you to that person or that character, that role, and playing it. And so that's why I fell in love with acting in high school. Actually, it wasn't really before that. I would do some acting, but I was always a bit nervous about it. It's only when I learned to tap into those emotions within myself that I kind of got the confidence to take it forward. And if I could pick 3 characteristics to describe myself, I would say emotional. I live on heightened emotions. I'm really happy, really sad, angry, whatever, and I think that's good for acting, and it's good for writing and creativity. So emotional. Caring, I would say I'm caring. I care a lot about people, making the world a better place. And creative, I think. I get ideas in the middle of the night and they just come to me. So I think that's something that I really treasure, and I'm really thankful that I have that kind of side of me, even if it does keep me up. And last question, if you could manifest anything into your life right now, what would it be? I think I'm a very career-driven person, and I'm a very success-driven person. So I think if I could have anything right now, it would be the skills that I would develop in a year or 2 years' time, just to get them quicker, and so I can get on with things quicker. But it's a process, and I think it is good to have that time to work towards things, and that you do need to put the work in and get to where you want to be.